The girl fainted at a high altitude. Her body slowly sank downwards. Midway through the descent, she suddenly awoke, but it was already too late. She could only let her body tumble. She didn't know how much time had passed when she slowly opened her eyes. In the next second, she hurriedly propped herself up, tightly gripping the rope. Only then did she realize she was thousands of meters in the air. The safety rope had saved her life. She urgently called out to the man for help, but he showed no reaction whatsoever. The key issue was that the frost on the rope was gradually melting, and she was slowly slipping downward. Falling from this height, there was no chance of survival. The girl used all her strength to swing her feet, slowly inching towards the gondola. Using momentum, she finally grabbed the edge of the basket. She tightly hugged the gondola ropes. Exerting her last bit of energy, she finally managed to climb back into the gondola. Looking at her companion curled up in the corner, she hurriedly crawled over, calling out to the man. But no matter how she called, he remained unresponsive. The two were now in a precarious situation. They had to immediately lower their altitude. Otherwise, they'd suffocate from lack of oxygen or freeze to death. When the girl tried to open the air valve, the valve was frozen shut. Using all her strength, she couldn't budge it at all. At present, it could only be opened manually. This was their only hope for survival. The girl climbed up the ropes to the iron ring, with no safety precautions whatsoever. Below her feet was a bottomless abyss. The slightest misstep would shatter her body to pieces. After a long, arduous climb, she finally completed half the journey, but her hands were already frozen stiff. When she tried to grab the rope beside her, the distance was too great. She nearly fell off with one careless move. By now, the girl was severely oxygen deprived. Fatigue hit, and she could barely keep her eyes open. But thinking of her still unconscious companion, she mustered her spirit to stay awake. Then she used all her strength to move her body, finally grabbing hold of the rope beside her. Using the rope, she once again stood up to keep climbing. The hot air balloon was still continuously rising. The time she had left was running out. She tied the rope around her waist to prevent falling. Gritting her teeth, she continued climbing upward. After countless difficulties and dangers, the girl finally reached the top of the balloon. By now, she was utterly exhausted, but there was no time for her to rest. Because her companion's life still hung in the balance below, she struck the air valve with her elbow, but the ice was too thick and wouldn't break open, so she slowly stood up. Once steady on her feet, she stomped down with all her might. Fortunately, the air valve finally opened successfully.